Hi guys, welcome back. Today we're going to be doing the Tofu dungeon. Yeah, let's get straight into it. So this is going to be the first room. We're dealing with about mid-range level here. We are kind of over-leveled for this specific dungeon, so it shouldn't be too hard. We're running through with all 4 characters today. I've just recently changed the Kra to a strength Sedida, so this is going to be the first insight into how it's going to play out. So we're going to try do the challenges, of course. But yeah, I hope you guys are doing well. Hope you're enjoying the episodes. Just finished work, so yeah, just thought I'd come online, do some grinding, and get through some of the dungeons that we've got to do today. So yeah, I'm loving the damage. The damage is really nice. I actually just made a plus summons ring for my Sedida, so I'm going to equip that after this fight. Let's have a look. Okay. So we want to end on our starting cell. So what we're going to do is buff the Sacria and move back. Perfect. It's quite annoying that this Tofu just seems to want to stay. There we go. That's the first room done. Not too difficult, this dungeon. There isn't really any mechanics that we have to look out for. This room, we've basically got to not fall down any of the gaps. No, I think they changed it. Yeah, they did. So there's no skill involved in this anymore. There used to be, back in the day, you had to actually click each cell. But it looks like they changed it. So now all you have to do is press the... Yep. Okay, so the second room, a bit different to the first. I believe we're dealing with a... I think it's a Tofu. I think it's a new one. So we want to do the challenge in this one as well to receive the Tofu achievement. Sorry if the microphone is picking up a lot of background noise, guys. I've tried adjusting some of the settings on it, and this is actually the quietest mode that I can find at the moment. It's mostly the clicking that can be heard, and that's just because my mouse is a very... it's quite a loud mouse. It's the Logitech G502, I believe. Proteus core. Do recommend. My mouse of choice for many years. So what we're going to do, a Sedida is very, very versatile in regards to PvP. PVM, sorry. Because what we can do is actually summon a Mad Doll, and what a Mad Doll does is it has its own set wisdom, and it basically reduces the action points on each enemy. Above each enemy you can also see the little vine, and what that means is it's infected. Now, when an enemy becomes infected, basically, if the the Sedator attacks one of the infected enemies, both enemies take damage. So it's really beneficial, especially in PvM, and if you set up a Mad Doll at the start of the game, realistically every single mob will be infected, and in turn, you know, you will be hitting every mob by just hitting one. So that's one of the reasons why I wanted to make a Sedator. The Strength Kra, now obviously I was saying the reasons as to why I went Strength, and that was due to the fact of the damage output. Really wasn't beneficial, to be quite honest. You know, it's probably because I made the Kra to start with, and I just thought we needed a different type of elemental characteristic. So now we've got the Agi, we've got Strength, we've got Intelligence, we've got Chance. So when we go farm Blops, which is something I'm going to have to do very soon because we're all surpassing level 50, basically, yeah, what that means is it's a lot easier for me to kill Blops because each one needs a set, so I can basically just attack a mob with every single one in there. So Manifold Bramble, very nice move. And yeah, so yeah, some pretty decent damage from this Sedator. Quite impressed by it. You know, we have just literally gone straight Strength, and once we get the Pippin Blop set, the damage will be amazing. So okay, so that doesn't damage. That's actually nice to know. Right, so the sword's in the way. That's not ideal. I believe we're going to take a lot of damage right now through All or Nothing. Yep. So we can just heal back up. Yeah, should really use repercussion when we use All or Nothing, just so we don't actually waste our health. I'm still getting used to using multiple characters. I don't really do it. Can be quite annoying, all the clicking. So yeah, we're just going to attract this Tofu and then finish it off. There we go. So since last episode, obviously, last episode I was showing the team off. Ooh, that's a nice drop. Dark Tissue, brilliant. So I actually created a guild. Here we are. In homage to a very old guild which I was in for many years, on the Sheikah server, called Omni. Now, Omni was one of the most prolific guilds around during 2000 and I think it was 2005 to 2014 or so. And during that we had a lot of conflict within the guild where a second guild was made called Nihil, spell Nihil. Now each one has its own meaning. Omni means it means everything essentially. That's the meaning of Omni. So the meaning's always stuck with me, and I've always remembered the name because it's just an interesting word. The guild badge, you know, I like to go for something quite simple. I don't really like colours clashing, and it is quite a nice looking, you know, above the name it does look quite nice. And I've also made a Discord, so you guys are welcome to join. You know, anyone is welcome. Just want to kind of keep this on an English level speaking. You know, if you are from a different country or you speak another language, that's perfectly fine. But during obviously being in a guild, it would be nice if everyone just keeps the same sort of language barrier so we don't get confused about certain stuff. So yeah, you guys are welcome to join the Discord. obviously it is free, and you know, I will be in the chat room whenever I'm online. So if you want to do some dungeoneering or do some questing, just have a chat. You know, I'm always there to do so. So yeah, that's probably the biggest turn of events since last episode. Haven't been on too much due to work, but you know, just getting through these dungeons really, because that's the biggest thing right now. So the quest line I'm following to do these dungeons is, I believe it's Trip Around the World. So we've got our quest book. Yes, we've got Keymaster. Now each character gains 5.7k, which is, you know, it's a crazy amount if you think about. We've got 4 characters, that's 20,000 each, plus the achievement bonuses. So it's honestly really, really nice to have a nice amount of money, especially with just starting on the server. So what I would usually do is transfer all the money over to the Sacria and level up my professions, because that's going to be the biggest source of income on this account. So straight away I'm going to be summoning the Mad Doll, and probably just going to hit this mutant. I'm going to try to do versatile if I remember. So yeah, as you can see, the Mad Doll has actually infected 2 targets, so when I hit the mutant it will hit the Tofu cars as well, which is really, really nice. Let's have a look. So we've got a minus. I haven't really talked too much about the differences in resistances. Now as you can see, whenever you hover over a enemy, there is a lot of numbers and throughout the game you will see many more numbers appear. Now each one has its own meaning, and I'll try to go through these as easily as possible because it is quite hard without obviously being able to point at certain things. So we'll start from obviously the picture, where the picture is. Just going to, yeah, that's fine. So yeah, if I hover over any, for instance, obviously we see the picture, and at the top we have the health out of max health, so obviously we've got 686 out of 705. We have a shield underneath that. Currently, because I casted Preventing Word, it gives me a nice little shield. Underneath that we have the action points, and each spell costs a certain amount of action points. So for instance, Fury, if I hover over it, it costs 3 action points, so I'm going to use that now. And it leaves me with 3 action points remaining, where I can summon a sword. Underneath the action points is the movement points. Now obviously it just refers to how many cells you can move per turn. It does refresh every turn, so does the action points. Unfortunately health doesn't. And yeah, you can basically increase that. Now the maximum for each character in the game is 12 action points and 6 movement points. Now you obviously need a limit because people can abuse this, and in turn they're able to obviously surpass certain criteria when it comes to casting spells and whatnot. So I'll just quickly go over after I buff up. So to the right you see many different numbers and the elements as well. So we'll start from the top. We've got a little boot, and next to that number on my Echo Flip you can see the number 13. Now what that basically means is I have acquired 130 agility, and it shows my lock and dodge. Now lock and dodge is a nice concept that it's mostly, you know, if you learn about it early game, it makes life a hell of a lot easier. But basically what dodge and lock is the ability to move from a target. So this mutant Tofu has 38 lock and dodge, and my Eni has 10. Now, you know, I can't move because the mutant Tofu is locking me. If I had the same amount of agility, I would be able to move, but I would have to, there is a penalty, so I would lose 1 AP or 1 MP, and vice versa. If I have considerably more agility or lock and dodge than the mutant Tofu, then I'm able to move freely. So an example of this is my Sacria has 460 agility, and that's translated into 46 lock. Now the Tofu has 41, so I can move, but I will have a penalty, which is obviously minus AP. So if I move and I've used all my AP, I lose 1 MP. So it's a nice concept to get into. Obviously the earlier you learn it, the better it is. So let's just finish that off. That should kill it. Sweet. So now we've talked about lock and dodge. We've got the one next to that, which is AP resistance. Now AP resistance is basically the resistance in order for you to basically resist losing action points. So it is very important because you need action points to play the game. You know, if you don't have action points, you can't cast spells, you can't win the game. So you do need action points. And this is based off wisdom. Similar to agility, every 10 wisdom gives you 1 resistance on ability power and movement points. So the higher your wisdom, the more chance you are of resisting losing AP and MP. Now wisdom is quite annoying because it does cost 3 points for 1 wisdom, and we only get 5 per level. So it's a very investable, you know, it even shows you here what each stat does. 10 wisdom is 1 AP reduction, and so on. What I would recommend is when you get more late game, you want to basically invest in, let me just go on the encyclopedia, it'll be in consumables, and if we go on to the wisdom scrolls, so these wisdom scrolls are basically through doppel fights. Now doppel fights are your class fights, and you can do them daily, and we'll get more into that later. Basically you trade the tokens that you get from a doppel for these scrolls. Now if you hover over it, it shows you to the left when you can use it and how much wisdom it grants. Now scrolling a character, you can do it in every single stat. You can only do 100 of each stat. So usually when you start a new character and you're very rich, you would scroll that character fully. So you'd have 100 in each stat, and then, you know, you'd obviously just additionally input, say for instance 15 vitality. It's a very expensive process because realistically, you know, you're going to be spending about 3 to 4 mil just on 1 stat, and you've got 6 stats, so that could be onwards of 25 mil. Bearing in mind we have 6,000 karma, so we are really off that. Oof, that was a mouthful. So we'll get into this second game. Sorry if I'm rambling a bit too much. This was just supposed to be a dungeon video, but you know, the more information I can get across, the better it is for you new players out there. So next to that we have critical resistance, and we also have pushback resistance. We don't really need to get too much into those. They're not important as of yet. It is basically what is said on the tin. Not going to kill that one yet. But yeah, it's basically the resistance that you can have in terms of pushback and when you get critical hit. Now underneath that, this is very important, we have resistances. Now resistances are basically best way to describe resistances is probably, you know, each element has a certain damage, and you know, the idea is for you to go into 1 stat or 2 stats or 3 or 4 or all of them, whatever it may be. But if you choose 1, like I have with all these characters, you know, if I hit something with low, so this one's got minus, this Tofu class has got minus fire resistance, so if I hit it with a fire spell, it deals more damage. Whereas if I hit this mutant, it's got plus 42, you know, I will deal significantly less damage. So more late game, you kind of want to, you know, increase your resistances. The more resistance you have, the less damage you would take. it becomes very important within PvP, because obviously it reduces the amount of damage taken, but it can be quite annoying to fight against as well. The offside of having high resistances is usually you will have less damage because the output of the items isn't as strong as it would be if you have maged resistance on it rather than, say, damage. But yeah, but everything has its pros and cons. That is unfortunately the pros and cons of resistances. So now we've covered pretty much every single one of the informations on each character. I think it's just a case of doing it yourself, you know, seeing what works best for you. What I find in this game is I didn't get taught anything. I didn't watch no tutorials, I just played. And I think that's what grabbed me the most. It was a case of just playing and, you know, understanding the mechanics from day one. You know, obviously I didn't know everything at all when I was 10 years old, but you know, now at my age, it's kind of like I understand quite a lot about this game, and for me, it's just about getting that information out there because, you know, it's quite nice to be able to help other people. It does feel good. Anyways, enough of that. We're going to be finishing this dungeon soon, so we're on the 5th room, so the next room is the last room. We're not going to finish off as mutant Tofu. We're going to do the challenge and hopefully that will give us an achievement. Just going to pass. And I'm just going to heal up. Our Sakura should be able to finish this black Tofu, and the Sedida should be able to finish the mutant Tofu. Perfect. There we go. Okay, so we didn't get the achievement. I'm not sure. If we go on to achievements and type in Tofu, if we scroll down, there should be an achievement called Tofus. Ah, so we just need to do the regular Tofu. I believe the regular Tofu isn't in this dungeon. Yeah, it's not. So the regular Tofu is actually found in the fields, which is just outside. So we'll have to get that after we finish this dungeon. Now, this dungeon isn't hard. It's just you kind of need range, or you need summons that are able to deal a lot of damage. Thankfully, we have our dancing sword, and we also have sacrificial doll from our Sedida, which deals a hell of a lot of damage. So what I'm going to do is just go on to the achievements, just double check which ones we can and cannot do. So if we go into level 1 to 50 and scroll down, so we still need to do the sponge dungeon on this character. Here we go. So this is the Tofu house. So for completing, we get a lot of these feathers, which can be used to craft, you know, nice mid-range gear. Obviously, I'm not going to be using any of this gear. The resources will just stay in my bank, or I will use it to level up certain skills. So we've got statue, which is the one we're going to be doing. You know, it's not too hard. We just don't have to move cells. And versatile it's definitely doable. I think we could actually do both. Obviously, if we die, we die. Something I've got to keep reiterating. So we've got to play it safe. But yeah, let's get into this. Quite nervous for this dungeon fight. So wherever we start is basically where we're going to have the rest of the game. So I'm going to put the any just here so I can heal all four of us. And okay, so what I'm going to do is just straight away increase my suffering, and yeah, probably just increase it again, why not? Okay, so we've got to remember we've got versatile, so we can't use the same move twice, which is very important. Straight away I'm going to... Oh, I did not transfer the ring over, so I only have one summon, unfortunately. Would have been very helpful. Okay, so we're going to start getting some trees out. Basically, a tree sets on turn 1, and on turn 2 it grows. And what this does is it allows us to manipulate the map a bit more. So thankfully this stupid tofu has ended there, which means we can buff up and hopefully critical hit. Nope, still not too bad. So yeah, we should be fine as long as our any can survive. Okay, so we don't really need that challenge. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, if we stimulate and word our corner, it will heal us twice per turn, which is brilliant. This tofu is very annoying. Just summons bombs, which do very minimal amount of damage. So what I'm going to do is get my sword going. Just 21 lock. And it can hit a decent amount and also heal me, which is good. Okay, so I'm going to summon another tree. Hopefully try to block off this area so the bat tofu, because the bat tofu has 10 MP, which is quite annoying. So I can't really do much else. Just gonna play it safe. Okay, so we can use perception to reveal. Yeah, sweet. So the tofu cars is there. Okay, so bat tofu is starting to deal some damage. So what we're going to do is just go for some hits. Okay, never mind. Yeah, I'm just going to go for some heals. Can't use it twice, remember? And we're going to also give Sakura some AP and reduce the MP of that tofu. So yeah, the sustain for this team is really impressive. I'm quite pleased with it. Obviously we just need to focus on getting the set upgrades, which will be very important. Now what I can do is pull this tofu and deal some nice damage. Sweet. So the sword might be able to actually finish it. Nice. So that's one mob down. Perfect. And we are still in line to do all achievements. Oh. Okay, sweet. Right, so oh, well, that's annoying. So I got an email and that just threw me off completely, so I failed versatile because I used bramble twice. That's really annoying. Oh well, it's not a problem. We still would have to come back to this dungeon and do duo anyways, so let's just stay in line to finish what's it called? Stay in line to finish statue, and then all is good. That's really annoying though. Damn it. Yeah, I hate failing challenges when I know I could have done them. So yeah, this tofu is going to cause problems unless this tofu... There we go. So yeah, this is perfect. So now we can pull this tofu down. And then we can... Sweet. So hopefully this works. going to Fury, I'm going to swap with a Mad Doll, and then go back to my original position, which was here. Perfect. Okay, so we do not want to move because we've only got 1 MP. So I'm just going to hit this black tofu, which will hit both, and then summon a tree to block off that area. So if I move here, I use catnip twice. Okay, that's fine. Crit? No. Right, I regret using that shield. Yeah, the cat should be doing some decent damage. Right. So I nearly moved there, which would have been a massive mistake because we would have failed the statue achievement. Can't really do much without failing the achievement, so I'm just going to let the sword do the work and hopefully hit this. Okay, sweet. So we've got 2 MP, so we can move forward, hit twice, and then move backwards. I'm going to put a tree here. So next turn we can make that into a group, which basically heals us. I kind of want to buff up. Okay, so the Tofu's nearly dead. I wish I had 1+ summon on my... Oh, I do. So next turn I can summon another sword, which is good. Don't really... Could swap, but I don't want to risk it. I kind of want to summon... No. Yeah, I'm just going to buff and pass. Don't think the sword can finish it. Nah, it's very close, but... The Cedida will finish the boss anyways. So yeah, this is what I mean about the group. So we have this ability called Sylvan Power, and it only works on a grown tree. So a tree that is basically fully grown, which takes 1 turn. So what we can do with this tree is heal. Yeah, decent heals, not too shabby. And it heals in a nice radius effect as well. So we can actually do a double hit and move back. No crits, unfortunately. Yeah, everyone's pretty much fully healed, so I don't see a point in wasting turns. I am going to, however, shield the Sedida and just go back to my starting place to make sure we finish the achievement. Okay, so if I go here, I can kill this Tofu. And summon my second sword. I don't talk when I'm fighting usually. This is just me commentating over what I'm doing. If it is annoying, just mute it. I'm not gonna lie. It's just basically what's going through my head. That deals some decent damage actually. Nice. So this turn we're actually just going to use all or nothing to full heal and also kill. And again, I'm going to get that full heal off as well. There we go. So each one of our characters is fully healed. Probably all going to level up after this anyway, so it wasn't really a massive concern. This is annoying because the Tofus haven't blown up. That's annoying. Yeah, so the sword would have finished. Damn it, I thought I could have finished that turn. Okay, perfect. So the kitten. Nice one. That's game. So we did one of the achievements. Unfortunately, we didn't do the second one, which we could have easily done. It was just a mistake on my part. We leveled to level 50, which is brilliant for the Aka Flip because now we can use bluff and do a stupid amount of damage. Leveled up on the Sacria, on the Sedida, and also on the Eni, nearly surpassing 50. So each character does gain a bit of karmas, and what's good is doing this quest we also gain 5.7. So you know, in hand, if you want to earn some easy cash, make 4 characters, do all the Incarnate quest line, get some Pee-wee sets, go to Tanalia, do some gobble hunting, get some gobble sets, and yeah, then you can start your questing. But yeah guys, this video has been quite long. Was me just literally rambling on and also confronting the Tofu dungeon. If you do want to see more dungeon videos, just let me know. I will be popping the next dungeon on next, which is probably the Scar Relief dungeon, I believe, if I remember correctly. Quite an interesting dungeon, so stick around for that one. But yeah guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.